Whoa, 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 whoa. I am live. I am live. It looks like I am live. This is really like exciting because I've been doing this whole setup for like past 5 hours, I feel like, and this is finally here. Welcome. My name is Aziza Abdieva. I'm an artist, alchemist, and in today's video, we are going to be sketching a piece for the new season, the Citrinitas season. Uh, with the new season comes the new artwork, and so I hope my uh, sort of it looks like my sound is working, but I'm not sure. Hmm. Okay, sound, sound, please. Here you go. Is it better? I hope it's better. All right. Okay, I think we got the setup. Let me know in the comments if the sound is working and if the sound is good. I just couldn't understand it, so let's hope it's working. And for me to get into the flow, let's take a deep, unifying breath just to connect. Whew. Going live is a little bit nerve wracking, but here we go. Here we go, Aziza. Here we go. Here we flow. I'm gonna turn on some music so we could, you know, get into the flow together. What I noticed, music always helps me get into the flow. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, I'm just gonna put this right here and do this. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's flow. Let's go, let's go, let's flow. Let's go. Let's flow. Let's go, let's go, let's go. All right. Oh my god. This channel is about fear alchemy and literally going through my fear alchemy process right now. Like going live feels so vulnerable. Going live feels like, I can't do any cuts. I'm gonna put it as it is, so it's gonna be as it is without any like edits or anything. So it's like it feels like I'm a little bit naked in that sense, but let's go with this energy. Let's go with this energy because in this channel we are alchemizing our fears. In this channel we are alchemizing um, our fears and like letting the fears fuel us and like be up and just doing the thing, doing what we need to do. And today, in this episode, we are going to be sketching a piece for the Citrinitas season. In alchemy, me just collect myself real quick because I hope everything is working out. So, let me do my ritual real quick so I just like get to my senses because I'm realizing I'm live and I'm a little bit panicking, but let's do the ritual, guys. It's the ritual I do every time I feel a little tense. I like the movement. I realize with my body how my body feels is how my entire being feels. So let's move the body. I like the movements, physical movements, physical movement to be free, to let go of my tensions. I invite the verbal freedom to express myself clearly and effortlessly. I invite the freedom of thinking to let the flow of thoughts come in, to explore the things, to explore these ideas. I invite the flow into the studio. Let's flow. Let's flow. And I invite it now. Okay. Let me introduce myself. Hi, my name is Aziza. I'm an artist, alchemist, and this is Fear Alchemy. In today's episode, we are going to be sketching a piece for a new season. With the new season comes a new artwork, and in this season, we are going to design a portal. We're going to design a portal using Kyrgyz patterns, the patterns of my ancestors, and Islamic geometry. I'm going to mix those two to create a portal, art portal for this new season. Okay, before we dive into the sketches of the new season, let's look back to what happened these past two seasons. And see where it all started and see where this artwork wants to evolve and see where this artwork wants to flow and go. All right. So in the past season, the first season, the Ingredo season, it all started with a black square. As you remember, black square, and if you are new here, I would recommend you to check out my videos of the past seasons to get to know what was happening in my past seasons. Basically, currently we are in the Citrinitas season of the Fear Alchemy journey. So far, we went through two seasons. Migreo is the season of blackening, is the season of darkening, is the season of plowing of the earth. creating the artwork from this season came from like, I feel like from the womb area. It reminded me of like the times of when we are in the womb, we are in the darkness, but through the darkness comes the light. Next came in Albiro. Albiro is the season of purification, is the season of whitening. In this season, creating this artwork from this season felt like creating from the heart opening. Because in order to purify, I wanted to tap it from the space of heart, from the space of unraveling. Because when you purify and you get rid of things that doesn't serve you, tapping in from the space of heart felt like a right thing to do. Because I know when you remove things from the space of fear, it just holds in more fear. But when you tap into the creation process from the space of heart, from this, it just like holds in love and all the good energy. So we see a pattern here. Migreros, the darkness, the earth, and then came in the water. It's sort of nourishing the earth, cleansing the earth. And when these two things together come in, chronologically, what do you think happens? When the earth and water come together, whatever you planted during your Migreno season, that thing starts growing. So it has like more upward energy. The first one was like the earth, second one was the water. Then I feel like the next one should go up because it's like rising upwards. That's how I feel. And in alchemy, it has more like earth, water. I feel like the next one should be fire. Because we are working with elements here, so remember, it's like a logical thing. It feels like fire. Fire going up. It's like going up movement. So I feel like the next shape is a triangle. But this time, the triangle that is looking up. I don't know why my markers are not working. Let's keep flowing though, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Wow, okay. I hope you can see this. In alchemy, triangle looking up is the element of fire. Is the element of fire. Before we start designing the keys for the Citrinitas seasons, I feel like let's think what is the Citrinitas season. Let me just like turn the volume a little bit down. Let's sort of like brainstorm, explore the ideas. What is Citrinitas? Citrinitas from Greek, from Latin, means yellow. It is the moment when the sun is rising, the sun is up, the sun is yellow. If Guerrero was the dark night of the soul, right? If Guerrero was the dark night of the soul, Albiro was the dawn, the first lights after the darkness, when everything becomes white. What happens afterwards? Afterwards, sun rises and sun takes its shape, takes its power, takes its color. The sun becomes more yellow, and suddenly you see everything around you so clear because after going through the darkness, uh, the sun is up, and you finally can see everything so clear. And that's the energy of the Citrinitas. That's how, at least I understand the energy of the Citrinitas. That's the energy of the. It's like the rays flowing, the rays going, the rays being like so bright, so touching everything on its way, so it can show you what you weren't able to see before. You know, it gives me the energy of like uh, clarity, the energy of when you can see for a long time, and finally it's the daytime, and you like look around and you're like, whoa, whoa, I can see. Finally, it all makes sense to me. And so the Citrinitis is the place where I feel like finally comes the time when you're after the darkness, do this whole entire job of like cleansing yourself with the light in the Alchemist season. And the Citrinitis is like what happens to you after you take this whole entire work of like purifying, getting rid of everything that doesn't serve you, and suddenly you are like, whoa. And suddenly you see things clearly. And suddenly you are like, gain wisdom. I love this beautiful energy because, like, you know, it's the energy of being like, it's the energy of aha. It's the energy of, whoa, I didn't see that before. Whoa, I didn't realize that before. But, that sudden realization of gaining into wisdom. Like, whoa, really? So, Citrinitis. The shape is the triangle looking up. That's why I feel like this triangle looking up has like this fire energy that like sort of like burst out, burst out. It's the energy of like the sun is coming up, gaining its like full power. It's the energy of like you know. That's how I feel. This is and obviously, I'm still exploring Citrinitas because I am in the Citrinitas era and still exploring what it really means to be in the Citrinitas era. And being here, recording this video is part of the Citrinitas because like, I realized like I can just show up the way I am. All of my imperfections, I can just show up. Just be authentic. That was my realization, and I'm just embodying it right now. I'm going through this experience of whole life. showing myself out there. But enough about me because let's talk about you actually. Where do you think in your transformation are you right now? Are you in your darkest nights? Or are you in the area where you went through your darkness and now you're in the level get rid of everything that doesn't serve you? Get rid of your old structures, get rid of old beliefs? Or are you in your Citrinitas, the golden era, when you're embodying, when you're like going for it? You know, when you realize the truth, now you are going for it. Or are you in your middle, the final cycle of transformation, where you did this whole entire work, going through your darkest nights, purifying from everything that serves you, embodying, and from that embodiment, from doing all that work, you are a new person. You're the phoenix. So in this season, are you ready? Keep thinking about it. I know I'm in my synchronized era, the era where I'm realizing some truths. My eyes are open. I see things more clearly, and like, you know, I'm in my realization era. I'm in my, goldening era. Golden era. Era of like, the way I imagine it is like, how bread, it's yellows, it's goldens. I'm in that era right now. So let's go. Let's explore some of the things over here. Uh, to work on this piece, I'm gonna go through Kyrgyz patterns. And I'm just gonna flow and sort of get inspired. What are the Kyrgyz patterns are telling me? As a Kyrgyz artist, I really want to tap into the wisdom of my culture, the wisdom of my ancestors, because my ancestors saw the signs within the nature. It's like the resources of where they would get their inspirations, their ideas. And since I love working with nature, I think that would be like a really nice and meaningful thing. So in Kyrgyz culture, the foundation, everything you see comes from everything around that was around the moments. It's all of the nature, it's all of the flowers, it's all of the flies, it's all of the insects, it's all of the animals. You see? And now you suddenly start seeing the truth, and now you suddenly start seeing, relating everything around you and creating art and creating portals. The more I dive deep into the culture and the wisdom of my ancestors, the more I'm like in awe. I'm like, now it makes sense. I really like how they did it over here. Sort of opens the portal for the open sky. So, one of the ways to understand Kyrgyz patterns would be in Kyrgyz culture, every pattern has a meaning. Every pattern has a energy to it. And with each pattern, the artisans could tell the story, send the messages, tell their tales, tell the story of the family. And with the selection of each pattern, they could do such things. But what if you don't understand the patterns? What if you don't know the patterns? What if you're not familiar with the Kyrgyz culture, right? One of the easiest things I would always recommend is simple concept, realizing the simple concept that Kyrgyz patterns divide into 5 essential things. So it has the inspirations from the nature, and it has more nature qualities to it. So if you can see it here, where is it? Uh, the mountains. Let me show it to you right here. It all comes from nature. So nature, the patterns that remind you of nature, they're the patterns that, about abundance, about fertility, and oftentimes if you recognize the pattern of the flower, right, it typically represents the fertility, the abundance. Another part, the second one is the animalistic patterns. Typically, those patterns represent the protection. It also represents the abundance because, where is it? Like the rams, the horses. It's all about protection. It also represents the wealth because in Kyrgyz culture, the animals are closely interconnected to the wealth. All right, what's next? Next would be the patterns of the. If you recognize the patterns of the, where is it? More geometric shapes, more the shapes of geometric shapes. Typically in Kyrgyz culture, it means the structure of the universe. And that's why the Kyrgyz youth, very geometric. It typically represents the structure, how the universe works. And so it's really easy to determine and realize the differences between each pattern because it's like either about animals, about plants, geometric, or natural. Natural, it's more about again the abundance. So you don't really need to know each pattern, but you could kind of like tell, right? What does it look like? Let's look at the patterns over here and try to read them. All right. You can kind of tell by just looking at the patterns. This one, for instance, looks like a bird. And bird, it's typically about, the freedom, the protection. So typically, I would read this as flying, the freedom. And here you can see the mountains, natural, right? The mountains is about abundance, about fertility, but also about protection. So with this pattern, the artisan here was trying to protect what's in the heart of the message, what's in the heart of the composition. So yeah, and through putting what's in the heart, you could open the portal to the heart of the composition. and everything that's surrounding is created to protect the core of the message, you know, or support the core of the message. So it becomes like a portal in of itself. The portal of that the artist opens first to protect, then to give it the freedom, to give it the flow, and then to protect again what's in the core, what's in the heart of the message. And in the heart, you can see the patterns repeating again. In the heart itself, many hearts, it's probably about family. That's how I read it because there's many hearts. Many hearts. It's probably also about, yes, the way I would read it, it's about family. The hearts of your family. Yes. And, it's like the portal that gives the freedom to the heart. Everything within your family. It also reminds me of uh, you know, the roots. Because if you look at it like this, it sort of spurs out. So the way I read it, it's like a beautiful message. Heart of the family, roots, it's like a vertebrae, like a DNA. Yes. This piece, I feel like this is ancestral piece. Was created for the family. Uh, that's how I would read it. All right. Um, so the way I'm gonna build the portal, and I'm gonna follow the uh, basic rule of the whole piece of the sherdaq. It's actually the carpet device. It's not the whole piece, but yes, it could be used for both, I guess. It's a sherdaq. It's the carpet. I'm gonna use the basic design of a carpet, the way the artisans would use it, do it, design the outer layer uh, to sort of open the portal, open the way, and sort of protect what's happening within the wish. Oh, this one has like several portals to the three things happening with it. And so the way I'm gonna design it, I feel like I'm really feeling pulled in to design a main portal, um, main heart, and surrounding it with the portal, with the supporting element. All right. Do-do-do-do. All right, here's the thing. My next thing would be, I guess, the next logical question would be, um, so this is the basic structure of my portal. I know that I want to select the patterns to open the way, to the main messaging of this season. Okay, and the way I feel like the outer layer. mm, for my outer layer, I wanna go ahead and For the main portal layer, I want something about clarity. Because I like the idea of the sun is up and you kind of like, your eyes can see. It's like gaining the wisdom, gaining the clarity. And so I feel like the pattern that goes in here is going to be the pattern about the clarity. Something that would like help you understand the truth. Something that would help you understand what's up. Let's explore, let's flow. Uh, in Kyrgyz culture, I feel like a thing that would help you understand the truth should be something geometric. Whoa. I feel like it should be something geometrical. But it also could be about something about flow, because the flow of thoughts suddenly rush in, you know? But the clarity has more like a sharp energy to it, It has like um, there is some flow, but there is also like this sharpness. It's like when you have like -4 vision and you wear your glasses, suddenly everything's sharp. HD, that's how I feel. So I feel like the pattern should be like something sharp, something of repeating sharpness. All right. So this pattern over here, this pattern is the pattern of the head, human head. So I feel like it's about the human, like the realization happens. Okay. Okay, hold your horses. I feel like the realization happens within the head, within the brain, and the vision happens within the eye. So I feel like if the Negredo happens within the womb, right? Womb area, the birth area, Albedo happens within the heart, then Citrinitas, I feel like happens within this head area, like, or even like the third eye area. Something here where you're like you see clearly. And so I feel like the pattern for that would be the pattern that clarifies, pattern about a vision. Hmm. Okay, I know this pattern. This pattern actually is a very beautiful pattern. And I used this pattern before for my albino piece. And I love this pattern a lot because this pattern, let me bring it closer. This pattern has a meaning of the head, human head. And then you see here it goes like this. It is the comb. So it is the meaning of this pattern is brushing your hair, and with brushing your hair, you physically clarify your hair, but also happens the mental clarity. So it's all happening within the head area and brushing your hair, and with physically brushing your hair, you gain the mental clarity. So I feel like this pattern would be perfect. Uh, this pattern would be perfect for my border design. Because the way I see it, the way I understand the Citrinitis, right? The wisdom is happening within the brain area. The wisdom is happening within the head area. And sometimes, for us to gain the wisdom, we gotta like do the work of like cleansing, do the work of uh, physically brushing the hair. So I feel like the border design could be of the palm and of the head. Let's go, girl. So like, don't mind my drawing because this is just a sketching period, designing period. I'm just like throwing ideas. We're gonna go into like the details of everything in the next episode. So stay updated because for this season I decided that I'm gonna go and be live online. And so I'm not gonna edit anything. I'm just gonna show up as I am, and it's all gonna be this live moment where you can witness the creation of the artwork. All right. So now we sort of have the wisdom is happening. Brushing your hair and gaining the clarity. Gaining the clarity for what? So I feel like after doing this whole transformation journey, you understand the clarity of how things are, the structure of the world, the wisdom of the world. And in order to tap into that, I'm gonna in Kyrgyz culture, the structure of the world, as I say, is represented by geometric shapes. And that you could see through, where is it? Let me show it to you. The wisdom of the world, and that you can see through uh, the construction of the youth. It has lots of like, um, structural elements, geometric shapes. All right. Where is it? Here, you see? It sort of like shows the structure of the world through the geometric shapes. And I feel like I'm gonna follow that energy. Yes, I'm gonna follow that energy of creating, of working with geometric shapes. To tap into the geometric shapes, I'm gonna tap into the. All right. Okay, to tap into the idea of the geometric shapes, I'm gonna tap into the Islamic geometry, Islamic art. Because I can see, I just remember myself being a kid. Uh, my parents used to have this carpets that would be on the wall, and it would be like full of geometric shapes, like interlinking from one thing to another. And I would have like this psychedelic experience in the age of what, 6? Just looking at the carpet and just like, seeing how geometric shapes flow into in each other and even flow into each other, interconnected, interlinked with each other. And even back then, I could sort of like understand how like everything is interconnected just by looking at the carpet, uh, Islamic carpet, basically. So the reason why I decided to go with the Islamic art is because like Islamic carpets and Kyrgyz carpets, they share something in common. And let me share with you the commonality that I found. Where is it? Here you go. But it's not that. Wait a second. Guys, And you'll see it clearly right away right now. Do you see? It also has the border. It also has the portal for the main heart of the message. Like the resemblance is there, and I feel like it is the wisdom of the world. I know it's different cultures, but they share same structure. They share, I feel like, the same type of wisdom. So it's about the wisdom of the world through different cultures. And I know um, here it's fascinating because when you put it next to each other, you can finally see the messages. Oh, wait a second. You can finally realize some truths. Let's impact it all here. You can finally see what unites all the cultures, see what unites different cultures, you know. And I know, like, even if it's different cultures on the different sides of the world, they share this commonality with each other. The commonality of, like, having a heart of the message, the core of the message, protecting that core of the message or supporting that core of the message through the portal, you know. That's how I read it, just by looking at it. Uh, and in Islamic arts, wait a second, let me just do this so we could have this over here. With this project, I really nerded out. I was like researching. I was like, I'm gonna get into the details of everything. I'm gonna get into the details of truth. You know, let me share with you. I feel like the heart of the message, the heart, right? At the heart of it all, I feel like it should be something like this. Something that talks about um, the structure of the world, the structure of the universe. And in Islamic arts, the way they would represent, the way they would talk about something beyond, the way they would talk about the infinity, the power of the greater, the power of God, the power of the universe, the power of everything that's united was through patterns, through repetition. And with the repetition, with this basically sacred geometry, they would try to talk about the boundless, um, the boundless power of the God. With the repetition, with the uh, repeating patterns, in this way, you show that there is um, this interconnectedness of everything. Because if you really look at the patterns, you can see how one thing connects to another, and it's linked with everything. And I like that idea. I like that idea that, things are interconnected. What is the other one? Let me show you that one. Oh, it's not here. I like the idea that even just by looking here, right, you can understand how everything is linked. And there is one thing goes into another, one thing flows into another. Let me show you this one, for instance. There is, I can have like 500 books over here. That's what I do for my research. I go deep into the books and study the sources, study what's been happening. So the reason why I really want to tap into the Islamic geometry is I like the idea that through small it all enlarges and goes bigger, and it unfolds and creates this you know uh, foreverness. And I know it's like the composition ends here, but I know just visually it just goes beyond. It goes far beyond, and mentally I know this is just a part of it, but beyond it, there is even more that I can't comprehend. But me realizing that I can't comprehend everything, me realizing that there is more, there is like this continuation, there is this foreverness, there is this all connection between everything interlinked. I feel like that really like fascinates me, and I feel like the Citrinitas era feels like that to me. The Citrinitis era feels like, whoa, like I was in the dark so much, but now the light comes in. Now I can see everything so clearly. And seeing everything so clearly, I realized that I just see this little picture over here, but I realized that there is more. There is more to the part of the story. There is more unfolding. There is more unraveling. Oh my god, this makes me so like excited. Yes. There is more to the story, and I just like it reminds me of like my childhood. It reminds me of the times when I would just be like sitting next to the carpet and being like hypnotized by the shapes, hypnotized by the flow. And even back in the childhood I could like understand how like these patterns were affecting me, understand the reality of the truth that there is more to everything. There is more to to the world. There is this interconnection of with me, with my parents, with my community, with my country, with the whole entire world, with the stars, with the universe. So yes, that's how I want to approach this next piece. Just like calling in that uh, clarity, having that portal of the clarity, and within the heart, having the universe, having the universe, having this interconnected geometric patterns and shapes that would flow into another, that would flow into another, and through flowing of into another, realization of the truth, realization of the universe, the realization of the greater. All right. And so the way I'm gonna do it, I'm just gonna do this real quick. Like I don't know. I'm not gonna like. It's really interconnected. It's really like detailed. So I don't know if I can like. But here we go. Let's why not? Let's give it a try. I'm just gonna trace everything. As you remember, we are just showing up. We are just experimenting. We are just flowing. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I just wanted to put the foundation for everything today, so that when the time comes to actually putting it in order, so the time comes when actually creating the piece, like I have some idea of how this all unfolds, of how this everything looks like. I don't know. So Here we go. Here we go. I feel like that's the piece. That's the Citrinitas piece. And I'm gonna stop here. Um, this was the studio session of the Fear Alchemy journey. If you are curious about what happens in the past seasons, I would recommend you to check out all the rest. Check out the Migrator season, the Albedo season, and check out what kind of artworks, what kind of portals I've built through those seasons. Um, but yeah, this was a moment of designing the piece before creating the piece. In the next studio session, I'm gonna be actually building it. So uh, just be on the lookout. I'm gonna be popping in and popping out and just going live whenever I'm in the studio. And so I would love to see you next time in my studio. And so we could actually create it together. We could actually talk through it together, go through this experience of creation of art together. And through creating the art, we create the portal. We create the portal for the wisdom. We create the portal for the clarity. So yeah, this was Aziza. Uh, and see you in the next video. I love you. Thank you for witnessing. Thank you for uh, joining me in my studio sesh, in my studio flow, and see you in the next video. All right. Bye.